on its hind legs for 50 days in a row. I mean, it's still pretty rare, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. When you talk about the number of women in Congress, you're talking about mostly Democrat women. There are very few Republican women left. That when I went into Congress, my class alone, that freshman class had 7 women in it. That just simply was that was great because we really added to the number of Republican women. Now, I'm not sure, but I think there's like 21 Republican women left.
They're not a lot.
As opposed, there's nearly 100 Democrat women. So there's definitely an uneven situation with regard to that, but also I think that clearly demonstrates the trouble that Michele Bachmann really is up against.
Really?
People aren't looking at the way Republican voters vote. They vote for men. And I think that's very, it's very, very hard.
Do you think
She's
Sarah
had a
Palin
good
knows
fundraising. I do. And I don't think Sarah Palin's going to get into this race because Michele Bachmann has trumped her game.
How so?
Well, she's raised a huge amount of money. She's given millions to the Republican cause in various places. The National Republican Congressional Committee. She's given it to candidates individually. She's a big fundraiser. But I would contend that one of the problems she faces is the fact she's never been a chairman or even a subcommittee chairman. And you have to be a chairman of a committee or a subcommittee chairman to understand how the Congress really works, because you have to negotiate with everybody on Capitol Hill if you're trying to drive some kind of legislation through. Michele doesn't seem to be able to do that. She's not put herself in a position, or they haven't put her in a position to do that. I'm concerned about a lack of training. Basically,
but from what you're
I want to elect
saying,
somebody
it's
without
like
training
when you come
wheels.
out of college, you know, Richard, when you say, well, I need to get that first job, but you can't get the first job because everybody keeps saying, well, you need job experience. I mean, from what you're telling me is because there are not that many women role models, really, for Republican women in Congress in that sort of ascent. And we really don't have that many governors in this country either who are female governors, and then it gets even smaller when you say female Republican governors. So how then can you criticize Michele Bachmann for not having enough experience when you say how tough it is to get that experience?
I'm not criticizing her. I'm only simply stating a fact. We elected a president who also had training wheels, and look what he's done to the country. I'm concerned about that.
Well, hold on a second now, Congresswoman. You know, I beg to differ. I think that Michele Bachmann is not only is she a leader in her party, but she's the chair of the Tea Party caucus. And, you know, I'm not the one to defend Michele Bachmann, Harris. I got to tell you. But in this situation, I think Michele Bachmann has a right to run. She's developed a clear mantle for herself, a clear base of voters, and I don't think it really matters what she's done in Congress. I think she's very clearly said, and she said in the debate yesterday, not only do I sit on the House Intelligence Committee, but I was one of the few Republicans that stood up to Hank Paulson and George W. Bush about the blank check to Wall Street.